Dark psychology is not loud. It does not shout. It works silently, slowly, and almost invisibly. It hides inside normal conversations, emotional reactions, and daily interactions. Most people don't even realize when their mind is being guided, shaped, or influenced. Today I am going to reveal the 10 most powerful dark psychology tricks that people use to control emotions, create attachment, gain power, and manipulate decisions. These tricks are extremely common, extremely effective, and extremely dangerous when used with the wrong intention. Once you understand them, you will never look at people the same way again. Let's begin. First, the silence attack. The silence attack is one of the most common and powerful manipulation tools. When someone suddenly stops replying, becomes distant, or withdraws without explanation, your mind starts filling the empty space. You overthink. You analyze every word you said. You feel uneasy, because the human brain hates uncertainty. Silence forces your mind to run faster, think deeper, and assume the worst. This makes you emotionally unstable and more likely to chase the person who created the silence. They gain control without saying a single word. Silence is not the absence of communication. It is a psychological pressure that pushes you to seek their approval. Second, the "you're different" trick. When someone wants quick emotional access, they don't compliment your looks or skills. They compliment your identity. They say you are different from everyone else, or there is something unique about you, or I have never felt this with anyone. These lines create instant connection because every human secretly wants to feel special. When someone tells you that you are different, you automatically place them in a trusted zone. You let them get closer faster. Your guard falls. Your judgment softens. This trick works because it touches the deepest emotional desire. The desire to be valued for who you are, not what you do. Third, reverse psychology. Reverse psychology works because humans naturally dislike being told what they can or cannot do. A manipulator uses this by saying things like "you probably won't understand," or "it is fine if you don't want to try," or "you do not have to do it." These statements create the opposite reaction in your mind. You feel challenged. You feel the urge to prove them wrong. You feel motivated to do exactly what they secretly wanted you to do. They never pressured you directly. They simply planted an idea and let your ego pull you toward it. Reverse psychology is subtle, clever, and extremely effective. Fourth, intermittent attention. This trick creates emotional addiction. A manipulator will sometimes treat you with warmth, affection, and attention. Then suddenly they become cold, distant, or uninterested. This unpredictable pattern keeps your mind confused. You wait for the good moments. You crave their approval. You hold on to the memories of when they were kind. This cycle works like a psychological slot machine. You never know when the reward will come, so you stay invested. You stay attached. You try harder. Your mind becomes addicted to inconsistency. This is the same technique used in casinos, dating apps, and toxic relationships. Fifth, the mystery persona. A mysterious person reveals very little, speaks less, and stays unpredictable. This makes your mind work harder to understand them. Humans naturally feel drawn to what they cannot easily figure out. When someone stays unreadable, your curiosity increases. You want to know their thoughts. You want to understand their silence. You want to solve them like a puzzle. The less they reveal, the more they draw you in. The mystery persona creates attraction not through effort, but through emotional scarcity. The unknown becomes fascinating. 6. Soft gaslighting. Gaslighting does not always happen aggressively. Sometimes it is gentle, polite, and subtle. Soft gaslighting includes statements like "you always overthink," or "you are just being sensitive," or "you misunderstood again," or "you are worrying too much." These statements sound harmless, but they slowly weaken your trust in your own perception. You begin to doubt your feelings. You begin to think maybe they are right, and maybe you are wrong. Your emotional confidence collapses. Once you stop trusting yourself, you automatically depend on the manipulator's interpretation of events. That is how they gain control. 7. The highlight trap. The highlight trap uses praise as manipulation. A manipulator identifies one trait you feel proud of, such as kindness, loyalty, intelligence, or softness. Then they keep praising that same trait repeatedly. You enjoy the validation, so you try to behave in that way more often. You start shaping your actions to match the image they constantly describe. You become predictable. You become easier to influence. The praise is not genuine. It is a strategy to guide your behavior. In this trick, compliments are not gifts. Compliments are tools. 8. The sudden distance test. When someone suddenly becomes distant without any explanation, it is rarely accidental. This is a psychological test to measure how emotionally attached you are. They want to see whether you chase, whether you panic, whether you double text, or whether you try to fix things instantly. Your reaction reveals everything. If you run after them, they learn that they have emotional power over you. If you stay calm, they realize you cannot be controlled easily. The sudden distance test is a method manipulators use to map your emotional weakness. Once they know it, they use it again and again whenever they want attention or power. 9. Micro-expression reading. Expert manipulators do not rely on words. They rely on observation. They carefully study your micro-expressions, which are tiny facial reactions that reveal your true feelings. When your eyes widen, you are excited. When your lips tighten, you are uncomfortable. When your shoulders drop, you feel defeated. When you avoid eye contact, you feel vulnerable. Manipulators read these signs quickly and use them to influence you. They know what makes you smile, what scares you, and what triggers your insecurities. They adjust their behavior based on your emotional reactions. This gives them silent power because they understand you faster than you understand them. 10. The future illusion. This is one of the strongest dark psychology tricks because it doesn't control your present directly. It controls your heart through future promises. A manipulator creates a dreamlike future with you. They talk about trips, plans, memories, and goals. They build emotional fantasies. These fantasies keep you attached, loyal, and hopeful. You overlook their present behavior because you believe things will improve later. You forgive their mistakes because you expect the future to be better. The sad truth is that manipulators rarely intend to fulfill these promises. They use them as emotional chains. You are not holding on to the person. You are holding on to the dream they created. Dark psychology works because it hides in everyday behavior. It is soft, silent, and easy to miss. But now that you recognize these tricks, you have the power to protect your emotions and your mind. You will no longer chase silence. You will no longer fall for false praise. You will no longer trust inconsistent affection. You will no longer be controlled by promises of a beautiful future. Awareness breaks manipulation. Once you see the pattern, you will never be trapped inside it again. Protect your mind. Protect your peace. And never let anyone control the narrative inside your head.